welcome back to To Be Ween. Little rule set that I made for myself in this series that I have not elaborated on whatsoever was I was going to try and just watch things either that I haven't seen or that I have a lot to say about. If I were to choose to watch something I've seen before, it would have to be something I know I could talk about, which is why none of the other Puppet Master movies are going to be here, because once you talk about one of them, there's quite literally nothing to talk about with the other ones. The newest ones that I did were interesting enough that they kind of got a pass, but that's why none of them will be discussed. After those two, that's it. This movie I had seen 5-6 years ago now, when I discovered the Return of the Living Dead series, which I discovered them. For me personally, other people very much know what this series is. I thought it was related to Night of the Living Dead. There's a joke about that. They're not. Much more punk rock, much more comedy focused than Night of Return of the Living Dead is one of the best zombie movies ever made. And I watched that first one because it was on Tubi at the time. I watched the second one and the third one. The second and third one are still on Tubi, and I think Necropolis is. I was on a binge and I watched all of them. I had to fucking rent Return of the Living Dead Rave to the Grave, the fifth one, okay? Necropolis and Rave to the Grave were made 15 or so years after the third one. They're probably the worst hunks of shit I've ever seen and completely miss the point of what the franchise is, which the franchise is, it's zombies, except they don't die when you shoot them in the head. Every single muscle, limb, everything is its own thing. So you can cut the hand off a zombie and it's still gonna move and have its own thoughts and still try to get you. You can cut the head off, but the head's still gonna be talking and moving. And that's the other thing, these zombies can fucking talk. They can communicate. The only way to kill them is by burning them, or this movie sets up electrocution. So So I watched the first, second, and third. I remembered nothing about the second one at all. And I loved the third one. And I think my love for the third one kind of overshadowed this one, because this one felt more of the same, and I just kind of chalked it up to being a bad sequel. I've rewatched it, and we're going to get into it a little bit. Let me give you some of the basic details, because I forgot to do that before I went on my ramble, so here we go. It's directed by Ken Winderhorn. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Classic director, famous Hollywood director. You know him, you love him. He's directed Meatballs 2 and King Fart.
This is called King Frat. I just can't read.
And it stars James. I have so much written here. I just kind of let the word vomit come out, so I'm sorry. I'm just going to read this off. It stars James Kieran as Ed, who was also Frank in the first Return of the Living Dead, and Thom Matthews, who played Joey, but also played Freddy in the first Return of the Living Dead. My theory with that is, I don't know why they came back to play different characters, because in the first movie they get infected and die, and then come back as zombies. I'm not sure why they wanted to come back and play different characters, or they wanted them back to play different characters. My only assumption is that we never saw Freddy and Frank turn and eat somebody, so they get to do that in this one. So maybe they just really wanted to eat somebody, I don't know. They might have also just hired him just to do the one joke where they have like a vision, or like one character comments and just says like, I feel we've been here before, like this feels like a dream, I feel like I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu. So maybe that was the main reason. Maybe it was just for one shitty joke, I don't know. But yes, so I've seen this movie already and I remembered nothing from it except that Joey and Ed were from the first movie, playing different characters, and they also died. I also remembered the main character was a child, but not only was he a child, I also remembered that the main character, the child, was the child in the 1988 remake of The Blob. He was the kid in the sewer who gets just absolutely eviscerated on screen violently before your eyes. So he makes it out alive in this one. But yeah, I did not... It's weird that I didn't remember anything about this and just thought it was bad. I think it's just because of how much I love the first one and how much I love the third one. Depending on the day, I will straight up tell you I like the third one more than the first one. It just depends. I know I'm wrong, but I love that third movie. This one just kind of being a pretty average sequel just kind of sunk it down a little bit to make me kind of just forget some details, but it's pretty good for what it is. Basic plot is the trioxyfloctane. I would look up how to say it, but I don't know. The chemical in the barrels that makes people zombies. It's been contained, and it's on transport to a military base. And during the transport, 3 barrels fall off. 2 of them are recovered throughout the movie. The other one falls off into like a sewer runoff. 3 kids find it. The one kid's like, hey, we should probably leave this alone, maybe call that number on there and have the government pick it up. And the other kids are like, get the fuck out of here, you lamer. And then they crack it open and release the gases, and it infects the kids, and it raises the dead, because the gas that comes out goes to the graveyard and raises the dead up. And I will say this movie is much more comedy focused than horror. There's a lot of just jokes with the zombies just doing shit, them being uncoordinated and falling. A lot of pratfall shenanigans. One zombie's trying to come up from the ground and he has his hand out and it gets stepped on, so he pulls it back, and then he's like has it back out, and another person comes to step on it and he pulls it back out, and then he's like looking, and then he does it again, and then the zombie steps on his head and pushes him right back into the grave. You dumb little shit like that. It's like the second time that one's fallen over now. But what I will say, when it balances the humor and the horror, it's really well done. The initial breakout into the small town, when the zombies are invading the small town, is so stressful. It is just people throwing around people getting eaten. It is cars running people over. Were they alive or dead already? Who knows? Like, it is chaotic. It is a constant just hammering of just a nightmare. And that's really well done for this goofy little zombie movie. Dude, he's so good at just like whining, whine screaming. He's so good. Oh shit. That's too many, dude. You gotta get out. That's way too many. Oh no! Not the cable guy! Amazing. Amazing. But yeah, that's our basic plot. Ed and Joey, who were also in the first movie as different characters, they're grave robbers. Well, Ed's a grave robber. He hires Joey, pays him $100 a night, and they're taking expensive shit from people who are already dead. And they happen to be in the graveyard when the gas escapes, and now they're infected. And slowly throughout the course of the movie, they start to change and whatnot. The important thing with this series is Return of the Living Dead started up it began the trope of zombies going for people's brains, because in the first movie it's explained that the zombies are in pain all the time, and eating brains releases endorphins that basically kind of cloud that pain. Like, they don't feel pain anymore when they're eating brains. It's almost like a drug addiction, basically. Like, they just don't, they need the brains in order to not feel pain. So that's their goal. And they get a little bit more elaborate with this one. It doesn't have to be human brains. There's a point in this movie that's so horrible. Our little group of survivors is driving through the town, and there's a pet store, and one of the zombies comes out chasing a dog, and they got like pools in their mouth, and they're just fucking honking down on him. And it's so fucked up and awful. But at the same time, it's almost kind of like sadistically funny that, like, I've never seen another zombie movie tackle the topic of, like, well, what if they just eat animals instead? So yeah, they just break into a pet shop, and they're just like eating the cats and dogs in there. And it's fucking horrible, but you know what? In order to lure all the zombies to the power plant at the end of the movie, they grab boxes of beef brains, and one of the characters is standing outside of a van with the door open and just hucking brains out to him so that they grab him and keep coming. And it's absurd. It is so absurd. It is so comical, and I kind of loved it. I genuinely, now rewatching this, I'm shocked I didn't remember any of this, because it's not on par with the first or the third one, but it's a fun middle chunk. It's like a fun middle chapter. Like, the first one is perfect for what it is, and the third one is, I'm gonna say, perfect for what it is, and the second one's just kind of like this little bridge in between where they were working some shit out. Still much more comical than the third one, much more comical than the first one, but it's kind of this nice blending of, like, there were some serious moments in the first one. I'd say overall the first one's more serious. I will say the second one overall, the initial, like, invasion is way more fucking stressful than it was in the first one. The first one also has this tone to it. It's so like punk. You got people's names are like trash. Like, oh, the light changed. The first one has such a distinct style to it that it can't ever be replaced or topped. And I don't think they were trying to do that with this one. I feel like they were just trying to have a good time. And god damn it, it's a pretty fun time. Overall, I haven't really gotten too much into the plot, but honestly, I don't really need to. I want to try to not to, because it is a pain in the ass to edit a bunch of plot clips together. I just needed to for fucking Stephanie. And I also want to try to just encourage, like, Yeah, here's the basics. Here's like the groundwork. Now, if you're interested, go see it. And if not, read the Wikipedia summary. I don't know. Anywho, overall on the Schlockometer, this one gets a 3.5 out of 5. Really fun, really good, weirdly stressful at times, and I loved this one. It was really fun. But yeah, we'll tune in tomorrow for our first, not really first, but tune in tomorrow for a double feature. I'm not doing 2 movies in one day, Jesus Christ, no, but it's 2 movies from the same series, and they both kind of rocked. What the fuck? What the hell? Oh my god! They're just like eating the animals! Jesus Christ! They were eating the dogs inside of the pet store. That's horrible.